Hey guys, Jason Tatenhove here with Oath Keepers Media. This year we're going to be doing a really big push on to national training standards. Training so that we all have a baseline, so when we show up at an operation like we've seen in the past, whether it's a natural disaster or a first responder type situation where we have an active shooter in our community, it's important we all have the same basic training standards that would be the equivalent of, say, what you would learn in the infantry, kind of an basic infantry type skills. So one of those areas is communications. Now, having been on several operations myself at Bundy Ranch, at White Hope Mine, at Sugar Pine Mine, one thing we are severely lacking in is proper etiquette, proper procedure when it comes to using our comms. Now, I know everyone loves having their call sign. I know guys that didn't have a logo made of their call sign and t-shirts and all of it. Well, when it comes down to it, it's just not that effective when it comes to communication. There is a step method that's used by the military. It's used for a reason. It's used because it simplifies the process, it makes it very clear and concise, and streamlines that whole communication process from start to finish. So today we're going to be looking at a sit-down class. This is the audio file only of one of the North Idaho Training Center's Down and Dirty Comms class, Comms 101. Please take the time to listen to it, and I want to encourage all of you, start training now for security, for engineering, for first aid, for communications, all of those aspects. Look at our CPT team program. Get involved with your local CPT team. If there isn't one in your area, start one. It might be your job to do that. It might be your responsibility. If no one else is willing to step up in your area, well then, I challenge you. You be the one. All right, folks, I hope you like this. Let us know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk with you soon. This is Jason Tatenhove signing off.
All right. For those who don't know me, my name. What we're going to do is go over real quick, simple, and dirty comms lesson. So you guys know how to speak on the radios correctly, all right? I don't know if you've ever heard all the militia guys talk on the radio, how much of a fucking nightmare it is. So we're going to do away with that. Okay. When we're done here, you guys are going to take. You guys all have radios?
Yes.
MERS compatible radios. When you're done here, you're actually going to go out and practice with each other on them. Okay. It's the best way to learn. Before we get into that, I'm going to cover call signs of what they are. So, I'm sure everybody has their own nicknames, War Pig, and whatever the fuck you like to call yourselves. That's no more. The way things work, the command post, call sign 1. 1 is not a person or an entity, it's the command post. The command post is what all your information goes through. So again, 1 is a command post. The commanding officer is 19er. In this case, because we're in Idaho, we're going to use the prefix India 19er. That happens to be Sergeant Garcia over here. The second in command, 2IC, standing for second in command. You'll hear me use that term a lot over the weekend. India 19er Alpha, which happens to be Mr. Engel in the corner there. Now we have 4 teams here. So we have Alpha Team. The IC of Alpha Team is 1 Alpha. The 2 IC of that team is 10 Alpha. Same with Bravo, same with Charlie, and you guys are Delta. Now when 1 is talking to all of the teams, 1 Delta wouldn't answer any of the communications. It'll only be the IC or the 2 IC. That call sign is the one you're talking amongst yourselves. Okay, first thing we're going to go into is doing radio checks. On a fairly regular basis, the command post will be doing radio checks with everybody. The way that works is, and follow the lingo here, all call signs, this is 1, command post, radio check, over. Now the prefix over is used at the end of everything. Every time I say a sentence and I'm done saying it, I say over. If I'm the guy that started the conversation, I'll be the guy that finishes the conversation when it's all over and done with. To finish a conversation, you say out. So over while you're talking, the conversation's over, out. So again, all call signs, this is 1, radio check over. If I just wanted to talk to you guys, all call signs Delta, this is 1, radio check over. You guys keeping up with me so far? So again, all call signs Delta, this is 1, radio check over. Now there's three ways that you're going to respond to that. You're going to either say, you give me a loud and clear over, a Roger over, or perhaps a broken but readable over. All right. So the way that you guys would answer that, and it's always your IC that answers first. 1 Delta, Roger over. 10 Delta, Roger over. 11 Delta, Roger over. Command post would then 1 Roger out. See the over and outs. You see how that works? So we'll go over that one more time. All call signs Delta. This is 1. Radio check over. You would respond
1 Delta Roger
over.
2 Delta Roger over.
Incorrect.
1
10
0
Delta.
1 0.
You're not sure? Look at your arm. 10 Delta.
1 0 Delta Roger
Over.
1 1 Delta Roger.
Exactly. 1 Roger out. Now, if I did a all call signs, this is 1 radio check. Generally, you try to keep it as the teams go. So 1 Alpha Roger over, 1 0 Alpha Roger over, 1 Bravo loud and clear over, 1 0 Bravo, etc., all the way down to you guys. Make sense? Now, let's say you guys are out in the field, or you're separated, or you're up at the command post here. You decide you want to do, you're up at the command post, you want to do a radio check with your boys. All call signs Delta. This is 1 Delta. Radio check over. So the only time, you notice that I've used 2 call signs in the beginning there. After that initial call, you always only use your call sign at the beginning of every conversation. That make sense? That confuse anybody? I'm not trying to talk to you like you're dumb. I'm just throwing that out there if it does. This is stuff that I've done for so many years that is really natural to me and it may not be to you. So at any point in time that I'm talking too fast, back me up. Let's practice a call. Let's practice radio check one more time. All call signs Delta. This is 1. Radio check over.
1 Delta Roger over. 10 Delta Roger over.
1 0 Delta.
1 0.
That's all
1
right.
0.
You'll get it.
1 Delta Roger.
1 Roger out. Simple. So now you being the IC of your section or your team, I want you to do a radio check with them.
Okay.
So now you're on the same net as everybody else, so you only want to talk to your guys. So you're going to start out with all call signs Delta. This is 1 Delta. Radio check over. So try that.
All call signs Delta. This is 1 Delta. Radio check over.
Your 2 IC would be the first guy to answer.
1 0 Delta Roger over. 1 Delta Roger over.
And you would finish the conversation.
1 0 Delta 1 Delta Roger out.
Perfect. One more time. Hit it again.
All call signs Delta. This is 1 Delta. Radio check over. 1 0 Roger Delta over.
Try that again.
1 0 Delta Roger over. Yeah. I'm the only guy having a hard time. No, you're all right, buddy.
Well, in actual fact, once you guys are done here and you go out with your radios, you'll find it easier to learn that way. I know it's awkward when you sit beside each other and you might feel kind of dumb. In the real Army, we do this too. We sit in a big classroom with 30 guys and we practice this back and forth for days. Right? So once you're done here, you go out with your radios, you'll find it, you'll pick it up a lot quicker. So, again, now I'm working as a command post here. I'm calling everybody. All call signs, this is 1 radio check over. 1 Alpha's answered me, 1 0 Alpha's answered me, 1 Bravo's answered me, 1 Niner's answered me, right down to you guys. So 1 Charlie's just answered me, 1 0 Charlie's answered me.
1 Delta Roger over. 1 0 Delta Roger over.
Perfect. Now you would not answer an all call signs radio check. You would only answer all call signs Delta. All right? Make sense? Now that we've done that, 1 Roger out. Is there any questions on radio checks? Pretty simple. Excellent. So we're going to move on to actually having a conversation. So, being the command post again, I've got some information that I want to give to 1 Delta. 1 Delta, this is 1. Again, you notice that I'm using 2 call signs in the beginning of my conversation. I'm using yours so I get your attention, mine so you know who's talking to you. This is the only time in the conversation that I'll use 2 call signs in a sentence. So again, I want to talk to 1 Delta. So 1 Delta, this is 1 over. So all I'm doing is getting your attention. You're going to answer me. 1 Delta, send over. All right? That's the universal way to say that you're ready to speak to me. Okay. If it was a simple message, at this point in time, I would come back on 1, report to the CP over. You would say 1 Delta, Roger over. 1, Roger out. Simple? We'll try that again. 1 Delta, this is 1 over.
1 Delta, send over.
1, report to the CP over.
1 Delta, Roger, over.
1, Roger out. Simple, simple, simple. If I had a whole bunch of information that I wanted to convey to you, same procedure. 1 Delta, this is 1 over. 1 Delta,
1 Delta,
send over.
send over.
1, see how you start with my own call sign now. 1, prepare to copy over. When you're ready to copy, so this is giving you the opportunity to bust out your notepad, because you know you're going to be copying some information. When you're ready, once again, 1 Delta, send over.
Okay.
Notice that I've given you the ability by saying prepare to copy.
Right.
Gives you the notice that you're going to have to write some shit down. So you bust out your notepad when you're ready, 1 Delta, send over. Or 10 Delta, send over, or whoever I happen to be talking with. Same procedure, we go through our conversation. When we're done, I finish it. 1, Roger out. I started the conversation, I'll finish the conversation. It's generally the way it goes. We'll try that one more time. 10 Delta, this is 1 over.
10 Roger, over.
Slow down.
10 Delta, Roger, over.
10 Delta, send over.
Send over. Send.
1, prepare to copy over.
10 Delta, Roger, over.
Nope, same thing you just said to me.
Send.
You repeat
Send
it.
means communicate.
Send means I'm ready. Ready to listen to what you're saying to me.
Try that again.
We'll do it one more time.
Okay.
10 Delta, this is 1 over.
10 Delta, Roger. Send. 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 Send.
Roger is a way of saying, yes, I understand you. Send is a way of saying, I'm ready. Send it to me. So again, let's slow down, relax. You're not going to be graded on this. There'll be no test. 10 Delta, this is 1 over.
10 Delta, send over.
1, prepare to copy over.
10 Delta, send over.
Perfect. I would now give you the spiel. You would answer me if you understood everything I said. 10 Delta, Roger over. And then I would end it. Simple, simple. 1, Roger out. If somewhere in the conversation that I say something to you that you don't understand, you need me to repeat it, you would say, let's say I'm talking with you. I said something to you, you don't understand what I say, you come up with your call sign, 10 Delta, say again over. It's an important term. Say again over. You can also throw in, say again your last over, whichever you prefer. So, 1 Delta, you and I are going to try this. 1 Delta, this is 1 over. 1 Delta, send over. Let's say I've just given you a spiel and you didn't understand something I say. What would you say to me?
1 Delta, say again.
Over. Remember, guys, over always goes on the end of your conversations. Unless you're the guy started it and you're done talking, then you throw the out on the end. Every time you say over, that means the other guy on the other end of the radio knows you're done with your sentence. Simple. You're not cutting into on each other. There's none of that bullshit. And that's right. Just say again over. So, Todd, you want to run these guys through a radio check and then some information?
All call signs Delta. This is India 19 Alpha. Radio check over.
1 Delta, Roger, over.
India 19
Hold on.
Alpha.
Wait.
10 Delta, Roger, over.
1 Delta, Roger, over.
India 19 Alpha. Out.
Roger out.
Roger out.
Use the Roger in there.
Roger out.
Not Roger Dodger, but Roger.
I like Dodger.
You're not using the Dodger.
Oh, damn.
So, talk to 1 Delta. You're going to send us some information. Detailed information.
1 Delta. This is India 19 Alpha.
Over.
Over.
Get his attention.
1 Delta, send over.
India 19 Alpha. Prepare to copy. Over.
I'm getting out my notepad.
1 Delta, send over.
I was getting out my notepad.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
I was giving him.
Role
Oh
playing.
shit! I'm getting my notepad. 1 Delta, send over.
India 19 Alpha.
Whatever information
Return
you've
to
said,
CP. Over.
1 Delta, Roger, over.
you would probably send more information than that if you're making a copy of it. But you
India
get the
19
idea.
Alpha. Roger out.
Perfect.
Procedure.
So you can see how much more efficient this is
Absolutely.
and organizes this for speaking to each other. You don't even actually have to know who these guys are personally. You'll recognize that that's the boss by his call sign. Easy. You don't have to remember is fucking Sledgehammer the fucking commanding officer, or is fucking Warpig the 2IC, or Ditch Peg, or whatever these fucking guys call each other.
Ditch peg.
You know that if you hear one Alpha talking to one Bravo talking to one Charlie, it's the team leaders talking to each other. You know if you hear one Niner, or in this case India 19er talking to one Alpha, the commanding officer talking to the team leader of Alpha team. Simple, 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 simple. Making sense, all you guys?
Yeah.
You look like you got a question.
The 2IC right there, that's just India 19er Alpha,
Alpha.
is the 2IC.
Correct. Now,
Second in command.
Right.
this
He's
is,
never going to go by 2IC. That's just letting you know.
I'm just letting you know that's the
Okay,
second in command.
okay.
Same as that's a 2IC, that's a 2IC, and that's
Perfect.
your 2IC of your platoon. This is, or whatever group you have, this is the 2IC of the fire team. So it all breaks down. Now, the reason there's a prefix in front of it, if we had multiple platoons worth of guys, you could have a Golf platoon, you'd have a Golf 19er, a Golf 19er Alpha, etc., etc., etc. In this case, we're using India, Idaho. India 19er is Jared here. India 19er Alpha is Todd.
Is there a reason why you use the designation 19er for command and second command?
That's just what they are.